feeling a little more humid in here today because we are taking a trip to Epcot for the Grand Marnier Orange Slush that you will find in the France Pavilion. I actually love Grand Marnier. It's my go-to orange curacao. I use it more often than anything else in a Mai Tai, and I love it. I also find it at Costco, which means that it's available to me at a really good price. If it wasn't at Costco, I don't know if I would actually use it that much. Probably not. While we could see the ingredients from the Walt Disney World website, I don't have the official recipe from Walt Disney World, but it doesn't seem like anyone else really does either. There are dozens of copycat recipes online, and I say this respectfully to the Disney parks vloggers and lifestyle YouTube brands and channels, many of which I watch and enjoy. But when it comes to cocktail stuff, I just don't trust you. I see what's being made. It just can't be correct. But I did find someone make their version of these drinks that I do trust, which is Livio from the Master Your Glass channel. He has a blender version that will end up different than mine, but if you're looking for a non-slushy machine version, I encourage you to check that video out. None of the copycat recipes are for a slushy machine. They're all blender slushy style drinks, so this just needs to be inherently different since we're making it in a Ninja slushy machine. Most of the recipes that I make nowadays are going to be 10% alcohol and 10% sugar. It doesn't mean that they always should be, but I know that those ratios will work in this machine and slush. You can adjust your sweetness to your preference, but increasing the ABV will make it much harder, sometimes impossible, to slush, even though they say it can handle 16% ABV. People see that 10% ABV number and they think that it's just going to be too weak and not a real cocktail. But you have to remember that unlike a cocktail that's shaken with ice and then served on ice, you're going to drink 100% of the contents of a slushy. If you made a Mai Tai served in a regular Mai Tai glass with all of the ice completely melted, it will come out to around 7% alcohol by volume. So technically, my slushies are stronger than a real Mai Tai. And speaking of rum, the one thing missing from pretty much every copycat recipe was the number 2 ingredient, rum. And I don't know why, but we'll add some rum to this one. I've been using Plantaray 3 stars a lot for my slushies and large format batch drinks because it's flavorful, it's relatively cheap, and I can get handleless handles of it. And I find on its own, it has like a slightly bitter aftertaste, but I don't pick up on those notes when I'm putting it in a slushy. You'll also need Grand Marnier, obviously. And yeah, you could sub in another orange curacao, but it has been called in the past the Grand Marnier Orange Slushy, so I'm using Grand Marnier. And then Grey Goose Orange, and I'm using the real stuff since I couldn't find another cheap orange vodka. I think this might be the very first bottle of Grey Goose that I've ever bought. Probably the last, most likely. Then we need some orange juice, and yes, you could do fresh, but this is going to taste better with a high-quality, store-bought orange juice. I like the one from Trader Joe's. This drink will not be too tart since it's just orange juice giving the acidity, but if you wanted to spice it up, you could use this, which is my acid-adjusting solution. More on that, how to make that in this episode's description. It's basically a way for you to make something more acidic that doesn't contain lemon or lime juice, so you can bring the acidity up, but we're going to keep it original here for this one. So let's go to Epcot and have ourselves a Grand Marnier Orange Slushie. I'm making a smaller batch here, but in this episode's description, I will give you the measurements for a full 64-ounce batch, and I'll give the measurements in milliliters as well as ounces. Since the Grand Marnier and the orange juice have their own sweetness, we do need a little bit of water to bring this down to be about 10 bricks or 10% sugar by weight. I've been working on this cocktail for a little while. I had a code name for it, the Experimental Prototype Cocktail of Tomorrow. Yeah, I know, that's cheesy. So there you go. The Orange Slush from the France Pavilion at Epcot, or the Grand Marnier Orange Slush. Let's try it. Cheers. So I didn't actually workshop this a lot. That was just a way for me to make an Epcot joke. However, as you're making slushies, or when I'm making slushies, I don't wait till the end to try it. I'll pull a little bit out, try it, make sure everything's right, And as I was doing that, I wasn't necessarily loving the overall flavor. However, it's just growing on me. And right now, it's one of those drinks that you want to kind of keep drinking more of, because there is a little bit of depth to this, which you're not usually expecting. Is it the orange vodka? Is it the Grand Marnier? Is it sort of the fruitiness of the rum, or all those things working together? I know pretty well what that orange juice tastes like. It's delicious on its own, and it's not necessarily the orange juice flavor as much, even though that's our main, liquid in here, but it's those other elements in here that are helping transform that orange juice into something else that is less sweet than the orange juice on its own. It's a little lacking of acidity, so I would probably actually want to increase acidity. If you're finding that it's not slushing to your liking, then maybe the 10% ABV is too high. I don't know if Disney's doing 10% ABV. And what's easy about this one is you don't need to add water. If you want it sweeter and more slushy, just add some more orange juice. So yeah, I think this is a lot more fun than I thought. This is probably not something I would revisit on my own, like on my own time for just me, because I find it's not super interesting and super complex and one of my favorite slushy cocktails. But if I had friends and people I knew that were like into Disney and into Walt Disney World and Epcot, this would be a really fun thing to do for a crowd of people, because it has this really light, refreshing quality to it. And I can totally see if you're, in the hot Florida sun, walking your way around Epcot, this would be extremely healing. And if you have ever had a real one from Epcot and you make this, let me know in the comments below. How close are they? How close is this to the original? So there you go. The Grand Marnier Orange Slushy from Epcot. This is typically the type of drink that I don't like, which is taking a base juice or soda, just adding a booze to it, like a screwdriver, which this very much is different than screwdriver, or even like a rum and coke. I just don't like those. I like something that feels more like a cocktail, and the more I have this, the more it feels like a cocktail. So if you enjoyed this one, please give it a like below. Consider subscribing to the channel here. If you want to check out more videos like this, then I'll leave a couple right here. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one.